Hey y'all, it's Bergie. I am here with Handcuffs to Healing, and my guest today is Megan Smith.
Hi, everybody.
So, this is one of those that is really, really near and dear to me. And um, Megan was one of my first inmates when I started corrections. So, she kind of taught me how to jail. Uh, um, but she was always nice to me, always respectful to me. Um, she's one of those that really kind of broke my mama heart because she was just a young kid at the time, like 2018.
Yeah.
Um, and so just wrong friends, bad choices, mistakes that led to, that disease of addiction. Um, so today I want to give her the chance to tell her story of who she was before she met me, who she was when I met her, and who she's become since I met her.
Mhm.
Because she's been in touch with me ever since she left the doors of that county jail. And she's been one of my biggest supporters and cheerleaders and one of my favorite kids. She has become one of my adopted idiots for sure.
Mhm.
Like, um, but her story of recovery is just as great as her story with addiction. I can't even talk today. I'm gonna have to make a blooper reel with her. I can already tell. Um, so let's start first off. You have hair now. When I first met you,
It
you was
was,
bald.
yeah,
Um,
my hair is actually very, 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 very long. Oh, too long.
oh my God,
It's if I stand up and it's straight, it's down to my waist.
that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
From the little scrawny pale kid
Yep,
with no hair,
with no hair.
always wearing the illegal toboggan, the contraband toboggan. Um, yeah, like when I met her, we're talking maybe $1.15 soaking wet.
Yep.
Pale as could be. I thought, look, not even gonna lie, I thought she was part of the family. Um, because she, with the shaved head and all that kind of stuff, and Jerry, it's kind of one of those things that you automatically think,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh, yeah.
oh, she's the one hollering at all these girls. Got it. Turned out not to be the case, but
No.
that just goes to show you cannot
Judge a book bag.
go into the jail with
Yeah.
misconception. It was actually some of the ones I least suspected that were, and yeah, anywho, off topic. So tell me what led you to being behind the walls of that county jail.
Oh, my childhood was, it wasn't those of I didn't have a mom. I really didn't have a dad. He left when I was like 18 months old. I think that's where some of my trauma started. But all through school, I
We're
was,
starting right off with the daddy issues.
oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Because I've got to be honest.
I
Yeah.
thought we had to wait a few chapters for the daddy
Hell
issues. Okay.
no, girl. But all through school, I was straight A's and B's, played basketball. Like, I was somewhat of an All-American. Like, I was a good kid. Nobody in my family really had, and other than, them smoking weed, really had any issues. I didn't drink or smoke weed until my senior year of high school, even my freshman year of college. So,
I started way before you.
yeah,
I was middle school,
I was a good,
but I'm
yeah.
old school too. So
Yeah.
that stuff. Like we were already smoking the Marlboro Reds at the bus stop.
Right. But after, I guess, when it started, my addiction started, was my freshman year of college. I met, the wrong guy at the wrong time, whatever. He was known to cops up there, so I was already, going out of left fucking field. Um, we started smoking weed, we started drinking, and then next thing you know, he brings out a piece of aluminum foil. And I guess it was a straw. It might have been a part of a pen. I have no idea. But
Like one of the old big crystal pen.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it was meth that he had on there. And then not long after that, he had some Roxy's. And just it started from there. And then after being on and off with him for about a year and a half, caught my first, theft charge because of him, whatever, I got that expunged off my record since that's from back home and years ago. But when my addiction really started and it really got bad was another wrong guy, wrong time kind of thing. Was from California, the land of the black tar heroin.
Ah.
Yeah. And
So
he,
you didn't just start out with like just some of the simple stuff.
oh
Like
no.
you didn't start out with just a hydro or a perk here and
Mm-mm.
there. You didn't start out with just a small bump of coke or whatever.
Mm-mm.
Like you were head into the ice and a heroin.
Yep. And while I was with the guy from California, before I met him, I had done like at least a year clean from the meth and the pills. I wasn't even doing needle nothing at that time. And finally, one night after I was, like I said, a year and a half clean or whatever, California boy was, secretly doing all that. And then he was like, fuck it, I'm not hiding it from you. This is what you're going to take me to go get some kind of thing. So I was young, dumb, in love. And
Oh, I know this story too well.
yes.
That led me to 18 years of marriage.
Oh, sorry.
And then he married his drug dealer's wife after he left me.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
But then one night I take him to go to it became our local, H dealer, and he had just, banged it, just shot it up. And he was so high, he turned and looked at me and said, "Do you want some of this?" And I was like, something like a light bulb, you can hear it when it's broke. Something broke in my mind, and I was like, fuck it, why not? It was the gray shit, the
The
gravel.
let's just turn this into a couple's activity.
Yeah. And it wasn't even a whole like shot. It was like a rinse shot of his. And bada bing, bada boom. It was like fucking snowball from there. We met, a dealer out here, Madison, East Nashville, Rivergate kind of thing. And he would borrow my car, give us drugs in exchange. And he ended up getting, in a federal sting, and he got out maybe a couple months ago, and he's already died in a fucking motorcycle wreck. But yeah, in the meantime, I was boosting for him, catching those miscellaneous theft charges, this, that, and a third. And
For the boyfriend or the dealer?
What for?
The boost and stuff like that.
I was the one making the money between me and the boyfriend. Like, I had the
Gotcha.
car, I was doing the boosting, and the dealers were dealing with me. California boyfriend didn't like that
Okay.
much.
So you were taking charges
Mm-hmm.
for your dealers.
Yep. I was
Okay.
taking charges for the boyfriend, for the dealer. Like, I stood 10 toes down in my stuff. I was,
So
honest.
explain that to me, because that's something that I've came in contact with a lot over the years.
Yeah.
Is the female always taking the charge, like that ride or die mentality?
Yep.
And I've always said, who's riding and who's dying?
And yep.
Who is behind the wall getting a bean tray?
Mm-hmm.
Some
Bean tray,
bunk ass
fried diesel.
hygiene, bag cornbread, and a
Hey.
cookie from Food Line or
Yeah.
Kroger that expired
And
and they donated.
the Saturday bread deliveries on the sweet truck.
Don't get those. We stopped getting those there for a while. Well, they don't go out to population like some of the
Right.
bread and everything does,
Mhm.
but it quit going out to population. So yeah, the sweet truck. I forgot you worked kitchen.
Yes. My last few months.
But like so we were getting hand-me-downs, leftovers to give you.
Mm-hmm.
and they're out riding free.
Yeah.
So like, who's riding, who's dying? Like,
Shit, you right.
who is really benefiting? Like, you're ruining your criminal history.
Mm-hmm.
You're ruining your life and your chances of
That
a
really
better
is.
fulfillment when you get out because you keep racking up charges for other people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because that ride or die mentality.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, when they get locked up, they're draining you of your money.
Yeah.
When you're locked up, you're hardly getting anything.
Shit. Right.
You know, you're having a big family and
Mm-hmm.
everything else who are at this point disappointing you because they literally think you've done all these things.
Yep.
Um, so I mean, like, explain that mentality because I've never understood it.
The ride or die mentality. I mean, to me, it wasn't necessarily a ride or die. Like, I knew what I did, and I was like, yeah, obviously they stopped me from walking out of Walmart with a buggy full of stuff. So yeah, I did it. But he was waiting in the car, waiting for me to come out, I guess with either the gift card or the cash so we could go get some dough.
Right.
And I mean, I owned up to my shit, yeah. But technically, like, the only charge I took for him, we got pulled over in Springfield up in Robertson County, right there at the railroad track. And I'll never forget it. We had, a little bit of stuff on us, but sure, I had already done most of it. And there was two officers in the car, and one of them, it's an older guy or whatever. I was already looking like, shit, my hair was a mess before I met you, before it got shaved and stuff. And, I had marks all over my face. I was in fucking dirty ass clothes. He looked at me and he said, "Hon, what are you doing?" And, I broke, I cried, went to jail up there.
Because somebody confronted you with
Mm-hmm.
yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looking at yourself in the mirror during that time.
Oh gosh. At one point, I looked up from just doing a shot of something, and I looked up and I didn't recognize myself. Like, there was no, yeah, my eyes were still blue, but my eyes weren't blue.
Right.
Like, I was a ghost, like a shell of what I once was. It was like, I was pale, like I said, like you said, and I had,
Yeah, because when I met you,
yeah.
like,
Oh yeah.
I would have thought, you were a chemo patient
Yeah.
because you had the dark circles under your eyes. You could tell where the scabs were healing.
Mm-hmm.
Just pale white.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you had shaved your head because I guess there was lice in the pods or something like that.
No, you don't know that story.
Oh, okay.
Because when they finally got me Metro, I had I had two warrants out. One for Williamson County down in Franklin, Cool Springs, Franklin, Brentwood. And that's where, oh gosh, I'll never forget it. Yeah, my hair was a mess, messy dreads. That's what
Oh,
and
okay.
they said, one night they, you know, got us for pill count, all this, med call, med pass, whatever. And they luckily gave me detox meds because before they got me, or before Metro got me and Williamson County transported me, I had just done a speedball shot like 2 hours before. So I was getting sick as fuck. Yeah, I was everywhere. But I had been in Williamson County for probably like 6 or 7 days at this point, and then I'm still in court that next day. The nurse and I guess the captain on duty pulled me out in the hall after I took, my meds that they were giving me, and they said, "We have to do something about your hair." And I said, "Well, I'm getting out tomorrow because I was only there on FTA." That was a lot for my issues. I just never fucking went to court.
That is one of the easiest things to do.
Yeah,
Like, just show up.
Yeah, but
Just show up. And I
was
can't
an
tell you
addict.
how many people end up being revolving doors because of an FTA violation, because they didn't go to court, because they didn't show up. Like, it is the easiest thing to do.
It really is.
To stay on track.
Yep.
Yes, granted, I know going in and taking the piss test and dealing with some of the POs and, the money that y'all spend. Like, My God, the money that some people spend on bail and probation fees,
Lord, girl.
y'all could have done bought a house, had it paid off,
Mm-hmm. My life could be
had the
completely.
white picket fence, and yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't and I've never understood how some of them just constantly come up with money. I mean, other than the fact that
Mm-hmm.
the plug comes and
Yeah.
bails them out or something like
Shit,
that.
mine never did.
Look, I was working releasing
Uh-huh.
and dealing with the bonding window and everything,
So, yeah.
and so when people showed up with certain bonding agents,
Mm-hmm.
I knew them from my life before corrections.
Yeah.
I before y'all knew me,
Yeah.
which is why I like to think I was decent at my job.
Yeah.
And the reason for that being because, well, where would I hide something if I was in here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had that mentality because I lived around it
Yeah.
for so much of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I was around all of those
Yeah.
people. Like, for the longest time, I hid my pot in my tampons.
Hey, that's a good one. Yeah, I've used.
No, I would take the cotton
Yeah.
out and I would put it in the applicator,
Mm-hmm.
put the wrapper back on, and it wasn't. And the one time my mom did catch me and
Uh-huh.
like blew a fucking gasket is because a roach had fell out and it was on my bathroom floor. It fell out of the packaging. And so she's like losing her shit over this roach. Well,
Yeah.
God, at least you didn't go through the rest of that wall because that's how I functioned as a teenager. Like, that was my mental health solution.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand anxiety and depression at 14
Yeah.
and 16 and stuff like that. Like, I did not, I just knew that when I smoked, I focused.
Mm.
I could compartmentalize things.
Some people are like
And,
that. I was on the other end where it chilled me the fuck out. I just wanted to eat and I just wanted to sleep, but at the same time,
oh no.
it quietened everything
Yeah.
else.
No, mine, it like put everything in boxes and sorted things out
Mm-hmm.
for me. And I was the one that could sit with a notepad and a
Mm-hmm.
pen, and it was almost like automatic writing.
Yeah.
Like, I would just sit and write, and I wouldn't know what I wrote until I was done.
Mm-hmm.
And I would sit there and I would write poetry and I would write short stories. And,
Okay.
that was my outlet. Journaling and stuff like that was my outlet.
Right.
But it only seemed to like really pour out of me
Mm-hmm.
when I was smoking pot.
Hell yeah.
But, like I said, back then,
Mm-hmm.
our family didn't understand how a
Right.
teenager could be stressed out.
Uh-huh.
They didn't understand that, anxiety was a real thing because that was just something their generation didn't talk
Yeah.
about. That's something that, it wasn't a thing.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, no, pot was my solution,
Mm.
but, and I am one of those people firmly believe pot is not addictive. Weed is not addictive. I will stand 10 toes on that.
Yeah.
It is a matter of choice on how much you do and if you choose to move on something stronger. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. But so you're getting out the next day and they're wanting to lop off the dreads.
Yeah, to come to find out that's what they wanted to do. So I went back in the pod for a little bit. I guess finished up whatever they were giving us for dinner. And then they called me out in the hallway and I turned the corner and there's a trustee with clippers behind a chair and 2 guards on my side. Those guards held me down to the chair while I was crying and they were shaving my head. And they shaved it to,
What county was this?
Williamson County.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Now I would help somebody take their braids out.
Mm-hmm.
I would help remove weave.
Mm-hmm.
I would take a wig.
Yeah.
Dreads are kind of one of those things that is your hair.
Mm-hmm. It was.
Now I
Yeah.
get Hot Mess Express, and sometimes that's the only way to get rid of them.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if yours was as messy as.
Mm.
So it was probably for the better. Your hair was probably dead at that point and
Oh, yeah.
needed fresh start.
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah.
But I can only imagine the humility.
Oh, it was traumatizing. It was one of the worst things I've ever experienced. Because one of my qualities before I even started, drugs, I was always known for my long hair.
Well, yeah, because you've showed me pictures of where you have super long hair and you're lifting weights. You were a power lifter for a long time.
Yeah, I was built like a brick shit house.
Like tiny waist and arms that could like.
I could crush watermelons in my that type of stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Benching 225, squatting 365, deadlifting 385 at my best.
Did you ever use anything to help with that?
That was all natural. Other than, like the protein powders, the good diet,
Right.
gallon of water a day, no steroids, no nothing like that.
So you weren't susceptible to a steroid, but you became susceptible to IV use through heroin and stuff. That's crazy.
I told you something in my mind just snapped.
Yeah, I get that. I
Yeah.
get that. Because sometimes your mind just it overworks itself to the point like a gear's thrown off, or like you said, that light bulb breaks. And we just hear that little rattle.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, I get it. And you anything to feel numb.
Yep. Like when I used, and now that I've looked back on it and stuff, like I just wanted to feel numb because I was getting so much from like the outside world. I was, trying to build myself back up from the first, little run that I did. I was working. I was just trying to figure myself out again. My family was like, you need to do this, this, this. I grew up underneath a thumb of like expectations. Like I said, I just wanted to quieten the world for a little while.
Silence and noise.
Yeah.
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 I completely get that. So went from Williamson County.
Yeah.
And you came to Sumner County.
Yep. The first time.
And that was 2018.
I was there long enough to get bonded out. Then I went somewhere else, caught all the FTAs, again. Went to Williams. Oh, God, did I come to y'all first? No. I went to Franklin again. Then I came to y'all for the, I think it was a few months stay. Yeah. Yeah.
You were there for about 4 months, I think.
Yep.
4 or 5 months, something like that. Long enough for me and you to build a really good rapport. B-Pod was my pod.
Yes.
B-Pod was my pod.
Well, I was in C-Pod before that.
You were, yeah, but when I met you, you were already in B-Pod.
Yep, in the kitchen.
So, yeah, I met this frail-looking little kid with the smile bigger than she was. And then at that point, I met Ashley and Little Mama and Gent and Big D.
And then Creekmore.
Oh, Sandra D. Oh, Creekmore. That's one that has been on my mind a lot lately because she's kind of went silent.
Yeah.
So Candace Creekmore,
if you're out there,
you need to hit us up because
we just want to know if you're alive. If you're okay.
I want to know if you're okay.
Yeah.
Like, hit me up. But yeah, I mean, there was some characters, Chili Pepper.
And China that almost broke the phone.
Yes. I mean, there was just a lot of characters between the two pods. C-Pod's where I got the name Burgylicious.
Yep, Burgylicious.
And then it got shortened to Burgy.
Yep.
And that was, I can't remember the other girl's name, but I know, Luther.
Yeah.
She was, every time I come in the pub, back to this. And then somehow or another, it made it from C-Pod over to B-Pod.
Yep.
And it just, here it is 8 years later.
And it's still stuck. That's it. Your name in my phone, Bergie. Your name on my Snapchat that I used to have, Burgalicious. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the questions we had the other day when I was talking to Jay Kelly was from growing Tara Cates. I don't think y'all did time together. But she asked, "Did we know all the nicknames that y'all had for COs?" And she refuses to spill till her episode.
Yeah. That's the only ones I knew for you. We had some for
Oh, I would look between
Deputy
like
Dog.
Deputy Dog.
Soon came I think a sergeant.
Deputy Dog was a male, short, kind of stumpy.
Was it male? I'm pretty sure it was male that looked, or a female that looked like a male. Used to wear a cap all the time.
Kind of a crooked eye.
I don't know Ashley could tell you who it was. I could ask her and
Show.
yeah.
See, now she just goes by Olaf.
But yeah, that's who.
But it is strictly because she's one of those people who don't like being touched. And so we always say, "Oh, she loves warm hugs." So she deemed her Olaf.
Yeah.
Let's see. When I started, it was me and Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
And we came in at the same time, which y'all knew she wasn't playing.
She was cool though. She was cool.
But y'all could tell she was old school.
Mm-hmm.
And like everybody knew she gonna make it. Y'all questioned whether or not I was gonna make it.
Yeah, yes, I will admit that, yeah. Because I remember the first time I saw you. I don't know if it was on Chow or what, but I saw you open that door, and I'm not gonna lie. This is me being honest, don't take offense. I said, that's a big bitch. Because you were, like, and I could tell.
And I was bigger then than I am now.
I was, when I saw you, when I walked in, I was like, she looks good, she looks my girl, see you. But yeah, I knew you meant business, and I respected you for that.
Yeah, I was so disappointed when I first started that show.
Yeah.
No, because it's nothing like what they saw on TV. Like, I thought it was going to be just like constant chaos from the rip. It was nothing. It was nothing. Like, literally day one, I walked in and I'm seeing family members, people I wanted. Kendra Berry. She was in y'all's pod.
Yep.
Me and her went to high school together.
Oh.
So that's how far me and Kendra go back.
What did she do? Did she sell drugs in school zone or something?
Something like that.
She in prison now.
Yeah.
She's out
again.
West Tennessee.
Again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she done got out once.
Oh, God.
And then she did it again. So, yeah, I think, I don't know for a fact, but I think she's still a Henning.
Yeah. The last I heard, last I checked.
Which, if I had a choice of prisons, I would go to Henning before TPW any day.
Ah. Yeah. I mean...
Then again, I don't know if they have a women's division at D-Berry. That's probably where I need to be, but...
Yeah.
I want the snuggle coat.
Oh, yeah. The turtle suit and the snuggle coat.
Turtle suit. No, it was the pickle suit because you were always a big deal. Well, you were so important we had to check on you every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't have to go through.
I didn't. I was one of them that did not. I knew a few.
You were one of the ones that when people couldn't talk other inmates down, you were the one that would kind of help step in. And be on that level.
That's what my Virgo tendencies.
Yeah. See, I'm a Cancer, so I can go either way.
Yeah.
So I can be the soft, squishy, or I just got that hard shell. Yeah. So I can say that I did learn that from you. And from Sister Patricia, because, and even Scott.
Yeah.
But, Scott was our trainer at the time. But you had a way, like, you were kind of one of the mama bears in the pod.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of made sure everybody was took care of.
I had, Autumn Surgery. I remember her from back then. I still associate with her sometimes. But she said, I never will forget what she told me. She said, you got an old soul.
You really do.
Yeah.
You really do. Me and you've had that conversation before because, I mean, come on, you weren't even born when Elvira was rocking. And that was something I grew up on in the 80s. So, but yeah, here you are, like, just sporting it. Because I love it.
More so, I like the colors, but hey, Elvira's a bad bitch.
Look, I still have the DVDs. Yeah, that's how old I am.
Not to make you feel any older, but anyway.
Yeah, I remember my dad renting them on VHS.
Yep.
Yeah. But we was podunk. We didn't have the Blockbuster and stuff
Mhm.
like that. We just had the video store that was
Mhm.
connected to the lawnmower store.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or
I come from a one-stoplight town, so
or the convenience store
Yep.
that just happened to have a wall of yeah.
that was us. That's what I grew up with. I grew up in a one-stoplight town, and it
Yeah.
was the little grocery store, it was the pizzeria, and what we called budget video.
Oh, so
And
yeah, you grew up something similar to
yeah,
Hartsville. Yeah.
yeah.
So when you got out after me and you met,
Uh-huh.
you got sober.
Yeah.
Your best friend got out,
Mhm.
got sober.
Yep.
And you were the first inmate to actually reach out to me
Mhm.
outside of the jail.
Yeah.
And you sent me my first message of thank you for not treating me like shit. Thank you
Mhm.
for treating me like a human being.
Mm.
You know, like a mama would
Yeah.
treat their kid.
Yeah.
And that is when I think I really got the calling put on my heart
Mhm.
of this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yep.
Like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like I'm
Mhm.
supposed to be with these people
Mhm.
and there for that open door for
Right.
y'all to reach out. So after that, I always said I don't stop giving a shit just because you walk out those gates.
Yeah. That's what we need.
Like I remember coming to meeting y'all over at Community Corrections.
Mhm.
I don't remember. Did she have the baby yet or?
Yeah, 'cause she had him, 'cause I got out in April, she got out in September. She had the baby like a month after, 'cause his birthday's October.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if she
Yeah.
had him right immediately after or whatever. And then I remember going and meeting y'all at her place,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
little man falling asleep on my chest and yeah, it was chaos.
Yeah.
It was chaos. That I
Hell
mean,
yeah.
and I could see that she was struggling with that
Oh, yeah.
because she had to reprogram herself to that
Yep.
routine
Yep.
and that and she was facing some serious charges at the
Shit,
time,
yeah.
and luckily she beat those and
Mhm. Thanks to Eric Porter.
yeah. Um so you two became best friends.
Mhm.
Y'all were doing the sober life together. You
Yeah.
were, basically there like already Aunt Megan,
Mhm.
you
Mimi,
know, pretty
honorary Mimi.
just pretty much like you were there almost every day.
Mhm.
So what happened after that? Because y'all tapered off from me for a little while. Like you kept in contact every so often,
Mhm.
but she tapered off.
Yeah. I think that was when, he got out, from
Right.
and they, I guess got back together and whatever. And, him and I did not see
Oh
him.
yeah, yeah. Y'all couldn't stand each other at that point because I know he was coming around and he was still drinking a lot.
Oh, hell yeah.
So like
Yeah.
he wasn't using again yet, but he was drinking a lot.
Mhm. And she was still in the mentality, I guess you could say, like they were.
She loved him.
Yeah,
Look, let's
yeah.
not sell it short. She
Oh,
loved
no.
him.
No, and I don't,
That young and dumb, yeah,
Mhm.
she loved him. That he gave her a beautiful baby.
Yeah, credit, yeah.
But that did put a strain on y'all's
Oh,
friendship.
100%, yeah.
That eventually led to
God, because my memory's like crap. I'm trying.
yeah, drugs are bad. They're bad for your memory.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I squirrel. Because,
So
yeah.
I know that led to you were sober from your drug of choice,
Mm-hmm.
but there was some other usage. Alcohol started becoming a thing.
Yeah.
Pot smoking started becoming a thing.
Yeah.
And I told you you were
Yeah.
on a slippery slope.
Yeah. I remember you
You know,
saying that.
it you were starting to trade up one addiction for another.
I was tiptoeing with the devil, tiptoeing
Yeah.
on that line again. Yep.
And I told you were on a slippery slope.
Yeah.
You already know your limitations.
Yeah.
you know how easy it can fall into that without
Mhm.
even trying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So from that slippery slope, where did we go?
Pulled back on the drinking and stuff because this was when she went back for those 50-something days.
Yes.
And then
She went back to serve the rest of her sentence, yes.
we got back in contact, whatever, and I was coming to see her, every Sunday on visit day or whatever. Then I'd go see her family, then I'd go back home. But then when she got out, her and dude were still fighting, whatever, and then that's when he started his shit and he went back in.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, because you had sent me a message on Facebook or
Mhm.
whatever, like, he should be rolling in any minute now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was like an hour later, I was
Mhm.
booking him in, yeah.
Yep. And, we got that close, whatever. There, we both were raising the kids sober and, doing the right thing. And then here comes another dude. Yeah, and he was like, we were cool. Like, he was our friend. He was our best friend first. And then next thing they had known each other for a year. And then he brought stuff around. And I was She did it first, and I was begging her. I think they started
Were
out.
we back into the ice or were we back into the
No,
H?
they started with cocaine.
Okay.
Stimulants were my thing. I loved.
I could see that
Yeah,
about you, yeah.
I could take a gram shot and be fine. But started back doing cocaine, and then I begged her with everything I had, tears in my eyes. I said, please don't start doing H again. Please don't. Said, because I'll be right behind you. Sure enough, there that went off and running and started, speedballing. And then I'm not going to say she turned into a different person when, the drugs really started becoming a
Oh, yeah,
again.
because, I mean,
Yeah.
that's an instant change on both of you
Oh,
immediately.
yeah.
Because I noticed
Mm-hmm.
it was radio silent.
Yeah.
And I know if I messaged,
Mm-hmm.
I was not getting response like I normally
Mm-hmm.
would.
Yeah.
And that was always my indication there was a backslide with
Mm-hmm.
somebody.
Yeah.
Because, over the years, I've tried to do the same thing that,
Yeah.
I did for y'all and everything and try to be that support
Yeah.
system. Even though I was bound by policies and procedures and everything, I had to keep my limitations.
Mm-hmm.
But I would notice that when I don't hear from them
Mm-hmm.
in like
Yeah.
a few weeks or something,
Yeah.
I don't really see them on social media.
Mm-hmm.
I see they're commenting on stuff, but I can't see.
And we're not posting.
Yeah.
We're not, yeah.
And if I reach out like, hey, everything good? I ain't
Yeah.
heard from you in a while, and it goes days
Yeah.
without being answered, or
Mhm.
you post a picture on Facebook and I could see the
Mhm.
difference in the eyes and
Sure, I
everything.
could go back and find those pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Yeah.
I mean, what can you do except sit there and pray? I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? Do I step in? Do I push? Do I pull back? And a lot of times it was, I had to pull back. I couldn't get myself overly involved because of the policies and
Yeah.
procedures I had at the SO. But at the same time, I ain't gonna lie, I lost sleep over y'all
Oh, yeah.
because I formed that relationship with
Oh,
y'all,
yeah.
not just in jail, but outside of jail.
Mhm.
You know, I don't go and just meet everybody's
No,
kids.
yeah.
I don't go and meet everybody's mama,
Right.
um, but I knew something was going on. So
Mhm.
during that backslide, what was really going on?
Like I said, we were starting out doing cocaine, and then he brought, dope around. Finally, I guess, I just finally got tired of it and was like, give me some. And she said, are you sure? And she said, I don't think you want any. And I said, just fucking give me some. And cause I was tired of, again, like working so hard and almost like getting nowhere. So I
Well,
was,
and not only that, I mean, y'all were best friends,
hell
and
yeah.
so here she was on this thing, and y'all did everything together.
Yeah.
So you probably went from that best friend to feeling like odd man out.
Yep. That's it.
Like you felt like you had to,
Do something to stay close.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was it. Cause they'd run off to the bathroom. I'd be sitting out in the kitchen a while.
yeah.
Or she wouldn't, answer my calls or texts anymore, for a few days. And, yeah, I wasn't stupid. I knew what was up. So I finally, joined in on that use, on the, snorting this, crushing this up in a dollar, popping it up with, a card, all of it. And, snorting it all. This is all I did during this relapse. Snorting it. I didn't shoot. I didn't, smoke it, nothing.
Well, and say, and that's kind of ironic
Yeah.
because most people who use IV,
We'll always go back
especially,
to ID.
I mean, especially as long as you were using IV,
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised you didn't go back
Yeah.
to that.
Oh, it was coming.
But you knew, but I think part of that you knew that would be like a for sure tale.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
at least doing coke and snorting stuff, and you get the
Mm-hmm.
sniffles, you can blame it on Tennessee allergies.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't have to wear long sleeves in the summertime,
Yeah,
but I knew when I went back to the needle, because I knew it was coming, like it was for sure. The pace that we were going at. If I used the needle, then yeah, I'd be gone like a fucking deer in headlights. Like I would be off to the races, gone. Nobody could get to me again. Like I would die. I didn't have another recovery left in me. So yeah, I mean, that was that. And
at that point, you
yeah,
thought you didn't have another recovery left in you.
yeah.
Turns out you did.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, I didn't, because it was awful. Like it's getting cold. I was having to, again, beg everybody for money. And then I was just like, every little money I got, it was going to the shit, trying to find it, waiting on a fucking phone call back, all that crap. I was just goddamn fucking tired of it. Then she got locked back up. And again, I was left to myself. What do I do? I already had the dealer's number.
Right,
So I got a little job, and every paycheck before I even got it gone.
right.
So, I relapsed really hard and still kept going. And then I had my first, like, somewhat of a wake up call. I overdosed while I was driving, went straight on into a tree, and got locked up for, the 48 hours because I was obviously impaired while driving. You would think that would wake me up. Still
Well,
kept.
I know it wasn't in my county, and that's something that of course,
Oh yeah, it was back
you
up.
and her kept from me.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
because y'all know I would have went
Fucking ape shit.
full mama bear on that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. But yeah, it
Um,
was back home in Hickman County. And then the last time I touched the shit was my last overdose. And like I said, 4 shots of Narcan had to be used on me, paddles. I ended up getting PICC line. EMTs only had 5 doses of Narcan on board, and they had to use 4 on me. So, and I was blue, I was cold. They had to rip my clothes off because they had to fucking pump my chest. They had to CPR. And I remember waking up in that hospital bed, and I was like, my chest, my ribs, they're sore. And mom was like, yeah, they had to do CPR on you till the fucking paramedics got there.
mm-hmm.
I was like, you know what? I got to do something different. Got back on my feet, started going to meetings, going to church.
So before you get too far off,
Yeah.
tell me about the conversation with you and mom, because I know you and her have had a very up and down relationship due to your
Yeah.
addiction.
When I woke up in the hospital after that overdose, no, a little before that, when I was in the ambulance on the way to the hospital, I remember like my body was burning from the inside out. It was that Narcan. And I finally locked eyes with a female paramedic. I wish I knew her name because, like, she had me keep an eye on her, like, keep eyes till we got to that hospital. So I feel like she was, an angel. But when I woke up after the paramedics, got me there and I was still in the, I guess, like trauma bay, emergency room,
Right.
whatever. And mom was there and I just remember I just started crying and said, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I started just wailing, so sorry. And she, I guess, somewhat accepted the fact that, I'm not going to help this situation by screaming and bitching at her right here.
Right.
That's not going to help. So she just, kind of touched my face and said, it's okay. And
I think and from a mama standpoint, that's that relief of it's okay because you're still here.
Yep.
That's that,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I could have lost you, and we're in that deep despair. And there's nothing worse than having a sick child and not being able to do something as a
She's told me
mom.
that before, yeah.
Like us not having control in fixing our children.
Right.
It crushes us. We feel powerless because moms are supposed to do everything,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Mom's supposed to be superwoman. We deal with this shit. We stress out. We have no privacy. We have, and so to see our child in a hospital bed,
Yeah.
that is, I don't care if it's even just for a broke ankle, where that child's fine, but still, there's pain, and we can't fix it.
Yeah.
And I've been told that Narcan, the only way, the best way they could describe it is if you're a Twilight buff, or if you ever watched Twilight, during Bella's transformation,
Yeah.
where it shows her inside of her head, like screaming and everything.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
That's like the closest, the closest, like, visual they can give of how Narcan feels on somebody.
Yep. Because what it felt like I knew it was the Narcan burning something out of my body, I guess is what I made sense of. But it felt like my body was like on fire from the inside out. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it's burning off that drug. It's burning off everything that's in your system. Like, it's stripping it clean.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, in best way I can describe it. I can't even imagine, though, the despair that you felt yourself when you felt all that pain and had to hear what was done to you, and how close you came. So, what did recovery look like from then?
Oh, goodness. This recovery was different. Different than I had tried a couple times before.
Well, and I mean, relapse is a thing. I mean, nobody succeeds the first time. No, it is very, very rare for someone to succeed the first time and stay completely sober.
Yeah.
Usually when people start recovery, oh, I'm not doing my drug of choice, but it's okay to smoke a little pot.
Yeah.
Not drinking beer all the time, but I can have a sip of wine.
Yeah.
It's all in how the addict rationalizes. And y'all are good at it.
Hell yeah, we are.
Like, the rationalizing with yourself that how this is bad, but this is okay. Like, I can't wrap my head around that, but I mean, at the same time I can, because it's like, well, I quit smoking, but I vape.
Yeah.
But it's not I quit smoking, so I didn't have time to go take cigarette breaks, and vapes were just convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people are like, oh, I quit smoking, but I'm still vaping.
Yeah.
Well, I quit smoking cigarettes, one, because this is more convenient, because,
Yeah.
I mean, y'all saw how I ran my ass off of that joke. there was not always times for a 5-minute break,
Oh, no.
especially if I was working one of the upper towers or something
Mhm.
like that. I couldn't always make it to the side porch,
Uh-uh.
or if we were short staffed,
Yeah.
or just depending on what was going on. This
Right.
was just convenient.
Yeah.
Um, but how was your recovery different that you could you stopped rationalizing
Oh,
all those other little things, that you didn't go back to, you weren't doing any drinking, you weren't smoking pot, you weren't.
I guess that's that switch in my mind from where it had been ongoing, trying to think of this. That switch flipped off finally. It was off. So I was able to focus on what was more important and ways to make myself better, celebrate recovery. I'm not necessarily going to say 12-step meetings, but I'd go to, NA, AA, whatever. And I just figured out what worked for me now rather than numbing my feelings and all that
So did
crap.
you take like a little bit from each program?
Yeah, basically. I
Like,
figured out what worked for me.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
And that's an important thing to
Yeah.
distinguish, because no two addicts are the same.
Mm-mm.
Nobody thinks the same. Nobody feels the same.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things I've always been fascinated with. But in a way that you are the same
Mm-hmm.
is the same way that me and you are the same.
Mm-hmm.
A majority of it stems from our mental health.
Yeah. Mental health is a fucking bitch and it's a real thing. And I mean, I've got
Because
my.
where you
Yeah.
wanted to silence the noise
Mm-hmm.
and you found a solution in a drug,
Yeah.
see, my demons are selfish.
Mm-hmm.
They
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 want you
they
here.
they will help me rationalize the fact that I enjoy drinking
Mm-hmm.
a lot,
Yeah.
that I, enjoy the party and stuff like that
Right.
a lot, but my dad was an alcoholic.
It was in your genes.
And, again, yes, this can be a hereditary disease,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
There is the scientific stuff on that, but I consciously had to make the choice of, I saw what his alcoholism
Mm-hmm.
did to my family.
Mm-hmm.
I saw
Mm-hmm.
the look on his face
Mm-hmm.
when he had to give me an early birthday gift because he was going to do 1129 at Sumner County Jail. And this was back when it was just the old jail. The
Oh, so
castle
yeah.
wasn't built.
Uh-huh.
Like, when I got booked in at 19 years old, the castle wasn't built yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, my mugshot and everything, God, nobody can get into the school system, because I know it was a horrible mugshot,
Yeah.
because I was bawling my eyes. I was 20 weeks pregnant. Yeah, hormones and everything.
Oh, yeah.
I was a mess, but I knew I enjoyed that stuff too much, and because my demons are selfish, they can rationalize, oh, careful doing this,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to end up like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
But yet they love to feast on me.
Yeah.
They want to be selfish. They want my anxiety, my depression, my bipolar, my everything. They love having their own little frenzy party. Like, we don't need anything else controlling you, because then that takes control away from us,
Yep.
which isn't always the case,
Right.
because your mental health suffered after you used.
Oh, yeah. And I would love to find a doctor, some way, shape, or form, somewhere that could tell me what all that shit chemically, physically, like down to science, did to my brain. I just always wanted to know that. And yeah, my mental health went fucking south.
Because, I
Depression,
mean,
yeah.
because with meth, you end up getting a lot of hallucinations and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. I've heard people talk about the shadow
I
people.
bought pizza for the shadow people once. I did. I did.
I've heard, like I said, I've heard the shadow people. I've heard of a bush monkey, but I've
Yes.
not yet had it interpreted to me.
Yeah. I did not encounter the bush monkeys, but shadow people, yes.
I have heard the disembodied voices,
Mm-hmm.
the mimics.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, there's, and which meth is one of those things. It's basically just a bunch of chemicals
Hell yeah.
and Sudafed and
Uh-huh.
gasoline and kerosene
Yep.
and Drano and
Yep.
bleach and God knows
All
what
that, yeah.
else. Like, it's a more simpler process, but just as, I want to say dangerous, but that's not even it, because I mean, I've seen how they make cocaine and stuff, and like, and they,
Paste and all that.
yeah, like soaking the leaves and
Yeah.
like tons of gasoline and like burning it off
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like, and you're putting all that stuff in your body, and so it's not necessarily, yeah, it may be the Sudafed that's giving you that buzzy feeling,
Mm-hmm.
and which takes a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
But think about all the other crap that goes into it.
Yeah.
Like, Drano can unclog my hairball sink, but
It can also be
it's
used to make
it's
meth.
it's also gonna get me high as a fucking kite. But no, it's not gonna cause any issues with, my internal plumbing.
Yeah.
Like, and I guess a lot of times people, when they start using, they don't know the process.
Mm.
But once you start using and you get used to your
Mhm.
your dealer, and you get
Oh,
used
yeah.
to you get familiar with the cook and all that, and you learn the process,
Yeah.
and you learn about the shake and bake, and
All the shake and bake.
I mean,
Yep.
for a long time, yeah, I would see people riding around town with a Mountain Dew bottle, and you just see them,
Shake it. Yeah, yeah,
and I was just like, yeah, I didn't think anything of it, or something like that. They could just be in there, just like,
yeah.
doing their thing, or they were just tweaking in general. I didn't realize that they had pretty much a bomb in their hand, and if they
Yeah.
didn't burp it just right,
Then you gone.
like,
You gone, Jack.
I mean, and how dangerous that is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the meth labs that blow up and everything, like, whole neighborhoods have to be
Hell
evacuated.
yeah, because the chemicals and shit in the air. There's chemicals that stick to things. The chief export of what the county that I come from, Hickman County, is moonshine meth.
Okay, well, Tennessee's, we've got a lot of legal moonshine these days, so I mean, that's not even, moonshiners are respectable.
Mm-hmm.
My great pappy was a moonshiner,
Mm-hmm.
but, and again, this is one of those, how people rationalize
Yep.
things. You know, moonshining is better than making meth.
Yeah.
Both will intoxicate you.
Yeah.
If you get behind the wheel, you still run the risk of killing yourself or somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
If it blows up,
Yeah.
you still run the risk of endangering yourself, or, starting some kind of fire or whatever. Like, so, like, anytime you do something like that, there's a risk
Mm-hmm.
involved. But knowing now what you were putting into your body, like, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, God. Poison. Just straight poison. And it changed me. Because I have to be on mental health medication now, taking 3 different things. And I know that shit changed me. I don't know how. I'd like to know. Just because I'm curious. But yeah, I was poisoning myself, putting poison in my veins, poison up my nose, it was just fucking poison. Because I am definitely not who I was before I started doing all this. I can firmly say that. And I'm on, like I said, 3 different things. I'm on, Wellbutrin and Lexapro, and I have to take trazodone just to go to sleep. Yeah. Because I had insomnia, like awful.
All right, so we've ran out on an hour. Uh, so this is just going to be part one with Megan. When we come back on the next episode, we're going to try to get into more of the highlights of the recovery and what she's doing now, and the road she took to get there, and try to give y'all some more inspiring, uplifting news out of the recovery now that we've covered her journey of addiction. So we will see you guys next time.
Bye.